Hello everyone,
Does our little
and
intro.
welcome to the Blinx the Time Sweeper 80% segmented speedrun. I'm Lotus.
And I'm Miku.
And so you're going to see a whole mess of strats going through this whole run. It'll be kind of a spoiler, but this is the kind of what happens when you combine my strengths and Miku's strengths into one run.
Yeah, starting off time square 1.
1-1 is not too special. It's very much similar. But you do notice that I do that starting jump right away. That's so that I can start sweeping trash as soon as possible.
There's not really too much you can do with this stage, but
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
getting
there
under
really
like 33 sections is pretty good.
Yep. And because of that, that stage was completed in under 34 seconds, which can only be done on Xbox Series, I might add. And so you'll know that this run is kind of what happens when you have to edit someone that does segments on an Xbox One and someone else who does it on Xbox Series. But for the purposes of this run, it was treated as if it was all ran on Xbox Series. So that means the load times are minuscule.
Yeah, the load times are it's sort of like an example of what like sort of an almost perfect load time would be.
Yep. So that 1-2 luck was crazy at the end. I was not expecting to get basically 150 gold, but we aimed to have 450 after considering trash, and that was a total of 475. 1-3, you see these optimization jumps. This is normally what we do, but it does make a difference in speed. And obviously the trash allows us to get all three as soon as possible.
I remember at the start of the runs, with gold, we weren't really too sure how we were gonna sync up our gold, because it's random when it comes out. But then we just decided to like.
And that was why I made
pick
sure
up
that I planned out the actual gold amount that we had as well. So one boss, you'll notice that I had the boss hop as far away for the fourth hop, and that's because it enables you to get an early first hit, as well as minimizes your run time to get to the goal. And that's the only way that you can complete that stage in under 33 seconds. So 2-1 I also did. And this one was also pretty difficult to do, because you have to run alongside the stream, which gives you a boost of speed. And because of that, you'll see that I'm really optimizing my movement and minimizing everywhere else. It really does help when you know exactly what to do. But I delayed on getting the rewind because I can easily get that right here. And that helps it get as far into the stage without it as possible.
But yeah, this was really optimized, like the way. I was very surprised that you got it under a minute.
Yep.
And here we go, this is my first run. This is where I start coming in. So there's nothing really too crazy happened here with this this level. But I was hoping for something that was better than what I usually do on average. I didn't spend too much time on this. I think I got pretty good luck with this. So for this, you need to hope that you get 2 fast forwards from the spot. This is pretty easy because, like, you know, 2 octa balloons, which has the higher chance of the crystal drops. And then now we're just waiting for like just hoping that I have enough gold that reaches the threshold for what we want to have in our plan.
And we aimed for 350 gold in this stage, but the key was to do that without using the ruler.
Yeah.
But
so I have 259 right now, but it also doesn't account for the dust herder balls, because the dust herder balls are 100 gold as well, so that will bring up our total from 259 to 359.
Now 2-3 goes back to me. And this is kind of the fastest kind of way you can do this. But I also had to pick up a fast forward to even things out again. I know it's a struggle for me to have to do that because I don't usually use a fast forward in 2-2. I've been starting to get used to it, but as you can see, I got that amazing starting hook, and that was very crucial. I did bleed a little bit of time there, unfortunately, but it wasn't too bad. But we were aiming for 850 gold with trash.
That was fast.
Yeah, and that's about as fast as you can get that roulette.
You know, originally I was supposed to do this stage, but then I kind of messed up on one of like the, what was it? I think it was the gold threshold. I didn't have enough gold.
But luckily I pulled
And so I was like, Lotus, please save my life.
Now I tried to sweep that barrel to get an extra 7 gold for free, but I failed, unfortunately. And I actually did also fail pause, but we edited that out. Now 2 boss is nuts. So
yeah, this was cool.
So if you have seen the no prep IL for this stage, that's exactly what I'm going to do here. So there's a strat called Fast Karagon, and that's what happens if you get it once, an early hit once, but I'm going to be doing that twice. And I also, it was literally because of this segmented run that I learned that you can actually get Fast Karagon even if he goes to the left. But this is what it is. Boom.
Yeah, look at that.
And I got
That's
641
seconds. Oh, turn off the music.
Now 3-1 was also me. I would have been more than happy with Miku doing this as well, but unfortunately, I kind of was already doing it. And
yeah, I was MIA at this point.
Yeah. But luckily, I actually got this one very quickly. Like only within 3 minutes of my attempts, I had actually gotten it.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't get me wrong, I wasn't complaining.
Yeah, no. So what's the gold? What was our gold limit for this stage?
It was 600, after considering the dust interval, that is. So, I got 640.
Oh, nice fast forward there. Wow, that's very lucky actually.
That was very lucky, but again, a case of I'm not complaining.
Yeah.
I would have gotten that gold too, but I realized I didn't have enough in trash, so I didn't want to waste. Luckily,
There's so much luck in this. Like, there's a lot of luck that happens in like this run that's like almost not even worth thinking about. Yeah, that's not even worth thinking about in the like an actual run.
I mean, literally, we are entering 3-2 with almost 2,500 gold after shopping, and that's even without the roulette. So
yeah, that's pretty nuts.
You should never really reasonably expect this kind of luck. But if you somehow do get it, you really have to take advantage of it and not mess up. But you'll notice that I do a rolling shot there, which is when I shoot and take out 2 enemies with 1 single jump. That's what I call a rolling shot. And that kind of is just to make things go by a little faster. And I get hit by the counter block here intentionally, so it ends the fast forward. Now, I'm just gonna clip through the door. And that door clip is known. It's been around for a few months. I do it in my runs. It can save you time over using the button, and I knew it would have been important to actually use that in this run because of it being faster.
Yeah, in an actual run, it can be a bit hit. It's like 50-50 chance, I reckon.
Now, I had actually messed up gold pretty badly here, ruining our buffer. But luckily, even if I had messed it up majorly, I still had built an extra 150 buffer into our run, so we would have still been fine anyways. But I pick up 2 fast forwards and 2 records to get our max of 4 time controls. But with that, we were at 3-2 and 150.
Also on for the stream, on my splits, this is based on the current world record right now, so we're currently 50 seconds ahead.
Yep.
of like what. But do keep in mind like the load times are being a bit like they are being spliced for the sake of like a perfect load time, but it's still impressive nonetheless.
Now 3-3 is another one that I did, and this one, it could definitely be an argument of hit or miss, because it was definitely very luck dependent, because I still had to pick up a fast forward in this stage, and I hadn't actually planned for doing that. But luckily, I was able to get through and get the fast forward by the end. And I made our gold threshold for this stage 800. There's the second one. And normally I wouldn't do a sweeping of crystals, but I was not going to try to miss that, so...
Yeah.
And then do the standard jump to skip the reproduce. And boom. And with that...
The lucky fast forward.
Yep. And with that, we were out of 3-3 in under 11 minutes. Now, if you guys have seen my runs, you know the strat that's coming up next.
Here we go.
But this is kind of the most optimized version of it. Boom.
That's
Fast
so
moves.
scary.
When you get used to it, it's actually not very difficult to do. And luckily, because of me being familiar with high L's, I was able to have a major advantage in that regard, so I knew I had to do it. But I can tell you the luck was not fun for this stage.
Yeah, you need to like make sure he pops up.
Yep.
I imagine all like 3 times, or all 2 times, sorry.
Yep. Because the key was doing this without needing to force a triple dupe. You can force a triple dupe on these kinds of bosses, but when you need to have 1700 gold, that's the problem. Yeah. But luckily I got that here.
Notice how he also had all the trash as well to like accumulate more gold.
Yep, that trash added an extra 85 gold. And now here's where Miku comes in.
Here we go, my second run of the entire thing.
That opening
this was
jump
a bit
was
of
something that still blows my mind.
The opening, what, to the metal?
The fact that
pretty
you managed
cool.
to do that with 0 downtime is what's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, I practiced the stage like 50 times probably throughout the whole thing, so
It definitely
yeah, I kind of
shows.
got used to it. So yeah, what we needed fast forward in this stage, I think, for the next upcoming stage. So
Yep.
making sure that you get the right crystal luck with this was annoying. Also, this stage, like pulling it off like really fast is quite impressive. So there was also that. There's like a lot of tight shots that you got to do for this. Especially with the octoballoons in the starting area that's coming up right now. You kind of have to like aim Blinx in a nice like sort of angle so that the bomb will drop down.
The important
You also
part
have to
here was-
account for... Oh, sorry. You go ahead.
The important part here was that we also had to do it without the use of a rewind.
Yeah, that's sort of what like ruined me because I always use a rewind to get... Because when you're using a rewind, you can have the chance to grab the dust herder ball with an extra 100 gold, but I also had to count for that, like to get gold along the way, which was a bit annoying. I didn't even see how much gold we had.
We had
when,
over 6,500.
Yeah, which is nuts. There we go. This is pretty cool. This stage was pretty fun to do. So we actually hit the roulette on this stage to meet the gold requirements. Could have been a bit faster here, but I mean it's not too bad. And
Interestingly,
Other than
because
that,
you hit the roulette, that pushed it so far ahead of the threshold that we had that it wasn't even funny.
yeah, and then we get the treasure chest in the thing as well. I just thought that the extra gold would be very useful to have, even if it burned like 5 seconds. And then
And
we
it very
just do our
much does
normal,
become useful later on.
we do our normal record stuff here,
Yep.
where we just use our 3 super bombs. And then we got to do our favorite jump over the door. what you could also do as well is that there's 3 fast forward crystals down below where we are right now. So if you ever needed a fast forward, you can just grab those and then like grab some in this room. It's like 5 seconds if you ever wanted to waste that. I thought I was gonna miss the shot because the guy kind of just teleported behind the tree branch.
Gotta love the Gears hitbox though.
So yeah, you can see that I'm losing a little bit of time, but we end up the stage of like 954 gold, which is pretty good.
Interestingly,
I remember telling.
This was actually slower than the segmented run you did by itself, but it got way more gold.
Yeah. Very satisfying. This stage is also pretty fun. Like, a lot of the stages I had fun doing, except like the ones that weren't RNG based. The ones where it's more technical were always the ones that I had the most fun. And I usually have fun playing round 4 because that's what they're mostly about.
I just want to point out that luck is very high for just those hard golds.
I was actually getting really consistent amounts of gold. So right here, I did kind of mess up here. I should have taken the damage, so then the fast forward would have ended earlier.
Don't worry, we got a meme side flip for it in return.
Yeah. Also, I think during this run we don't pick up a single retry. Is that correct?
Yep. We also only use 1, spoiler,
Yeah.
compared to your previous run, which used 2.
Yeah, just for the duping of gold.
Yep.
But we didn't have to do that, unfortunately. Alright, nice. Then I use another fast forward here.
We were trying to maximize fast forward use.
And I was hoping that one of these guys would drop another fast forward crystal, so I burned a little bit of time here. Because I'm like, oh damn. I got good gold luck, but I had to waste like a couple. There we go. Right there. It had to be 2 fast forward crystals as well. Okay, so here's probably my least favorite part of the entire run. There's 3 things that we needed to get in this. We needed a rewind. Yeah, sorry, we needed a rewind. We needed enough gold, and we needed to make sure that we hit this boss on the first jump. And right there, you saw that we got the first set of RNG. So now we just need to get crystal luck, which is the rewind, and enough gold. I can't remember how much gold we needed for this stage.
600.
600, which is already like pretty high to get for this boss.
Yep.
So you have to be lucky for that as well. So now we got our rewind. So now we just hit POV. I'm praying for my life that I get enough gold here. And I got 606. So I was pretty happy to do this stage.
Barrel, it's actually 613. But a split time of 57 seconds. Now 5-1 was my split. And if you're familiar with how I've mentioned the term lightning cycle, this is even better than that. And that's coming up here. But we try to get a record here immediately. And we jump through that. Now unfortunately I didn't get the hit on both of the enemies there. But I still barely lost any time for that, because I was prepared for that. But
maybe in the Taz levels we can improve on that.
Yep. But now you're gonna see this Octobloom jump down. We get that hit, and now that's what we call the pseudo God cycle. Because that, if you get the early hit on that final Octobloom, it's like gaining 1 extra cycle, and we were already on lightning cycle pace. But now we're trying to get more rewinds. And that will come into play for the next stages. We use a rewind here because it's faster than a slow and a pause. We sweep the golem pieces. And we finish off the enemies.
That rewind crystal's there too.
Yeah, we get the rewinds. And luckily I already had the perfect amount of trash so I could just land the final bit, hit the chest.
Yeah, that was great.
And start going towards the goal.
under 150 too. That still blows my mind.
I split at 146 there.
Yeah.
So that's just an idea of how fast that is. Now I haven't actually timed each split individually until now. I've only gone by your word. But
Yeah.
it doesn't negate the fact that we're out of 5-1 in far under 20 minutes.
Okay. I think I did this one, didn't I?
Yep.
Yeah.
We divided
Nothing too.
round 5 evenly. I did 5, 1, and 3. You did 2 and boss.
Yeah. This
Both
one,
that
I wasn't too sure what. I wasn't too sure on whether or not we like, if I needed to change up the strategy to like, if I could be faster or not. But I just ended up doing the same thing as I usually do.
Yep.
And it just seems to do fine.
There wasn't really much you could do to be faster. The best thing that you actually did was activating the rewind earlier, because that allows it to end earlier as well.
Oh yeah, true. Oh yeah, I lost some time here as well because I think I needed a fast forward. Yeah.
Now I actually didn't require you to pick this up, but you got it anyways, which was nice.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Huh.
You'd voluntarily chosen to pick up the fast forward. I didn't require it of you. I had asked you.
Maybe I misread a line of the spreadsheet, but I mean it's fine.
So
That's funny,
5-3. This this I call one of the most broken ILs, but it is one of the most mechanically demanding in the full game too.
This definitely
This part
tests
is
you.
normal,
Nice.
and we get that. Then I get large log and any one of the trash there. But because I know what I'm going for, I can take that one shortcut jump much further than I would normally be able to. But that allows me to land all 4 trash enemies there. Now I actually have no need for the pause or slow crystal, so I'm eventually just going to get rid of that. In fact, I don't even know if I actually need to finish that. But I saw that Mulg on there, and I knew I had to take advantage of this opportunity. And that's how I activated the rewind right away. Unfortunately, I did bleed a little bit of time here because I didn't land on the gear immediately. But in my defense, I was trying to take out the Octos first.
Overall fine.
Yep. Wasn't the end of the world. But this next part coming up here is something that I've actually started making use of in full game as well. Now, this was a nuts shot time. I hit it basically right as it was no longer invulnerable. And yeah, that jump right there, it's possible with full diagonal movement to clear that jump without pressing the final button. And I made use of that very, very well. With a split time of 2:14.
Yeah, which is wild.
We could have used
There we go.
more. We could have used that fast forward, but I did not want to use the fast forwards in 5-3. Now 5 boss. Normally we use a rewind here, but we're gonna change that up.
Yeah.
Because
It's gonna be a bit challenging, yeah.
Yeah, you actually gain time for not using a rewind, but it makes this fight much more difficult, as you can see. But we only required 400 gold because that isn't at all increasing yet.
Yeah. 400 gold's high for the juggernauts.
Yep.
There we go. This was a stage I had some fun playing, but it was also a bit annoying because of how much it required you to do. But yeah, like doing that that fast forward thing at the start, where you have to suck up like trash really fast, is a bit like you have to time your like your finger to the trigger. Now this bit is like pretty wild, so you have to just have to make sure that the gatekeeper gets stuck on that trash there. So then you can get nice, you can get that kill nice and quickly. Because what you're waiting for is, you want to kill the purple Chrono Blob and the gatekeeper as soon as you can, because they're like the big time wasters. This is also where we get our gold here, mostly. And I was pretty lucky on this, like on this run. And
honestly, your runs of 6-1 never fail to impress me. The strength disparity between us two in that regard is completely apparent. This is one of my weakest stages. This is one of your strongest.
it's just fun as hell. Here we go, you can also hit this, the two switches at the same time. Usually there's two cutscenes that play for like each switch, but you can combine like, you can combine them into one cutscene. So like if you hit it in a fast enough time frame, which is pretty useful. Now luckily, unluckily, sorry, I wasn't able to get the bomb to hit all 4 octos, but it doesn't waste too much time. And I was already pretty happy with like the gold and the crystal luck of this, so I just decided to say F it, and went ahead. Also, fun fact about this: the next stage coming up, I did this in one shot. What you're seeing right now is me doing this stage right after I completed 6-1, which was very funny. I didn't have enough time to even check if I had enough gold earned in like after I finished the stage, so I was hoping that I did everything right, and luckily I did. So we want to position the bomb so that it hits 3 enemies. So there's like there's a Chrono Blob hiding behind the door that you can see. That'll make it so he's 1 hit. Then what we want to do is we go over to the right, we jump over this little like stair thing, and we want to make sure that we cancel our fast forward just before it runs out in this octaballoon room.
And that early shot of landing on 3 Chrono Blobs, that's what we call the 6-2 sweet spot. And there's 2 ways you can do it. You can actually also do it from the goal gate, or the starting gate.
Okay.
But it was definitely interesting to see you take out 2 enemies without actually having to lift a finger.
Yeah.
It's actually possible with a regular bomb to shoot and hit all 5 enemies, but it's not at all easy to do.
So this could be a little bit faster because I messed up on like the little record bit, because the weight stunned Blinx. So because you wanna make sure you kill that gatekeeper like as fast as you can as well. So then when you get to the goal gate, it'll open quickly. Let's see. For this stage, I think I needed a record and a fast forward, right?
Well, let's reference the spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Write down, just reference the spreadsheet. Yep, it was 1 fast forward and 1 record.
Yeah, this was also annoying, just because we needed to like, I was like putting all my money that all the record and the fast forward would appear in this room right here, because it has the highest chance of it happening. Also want to use a rewind here after we open the chest, and then we can get that chest open again to get more money, which will help us out later down the line.
Now, I definitely believe you had the right idea by using that extra trash in the rewind, but you can technically do even better with that. You can actually kill the octopus as well, but I don't think it saves you any time. I think it's more like just a swag strat. It's still fun to do, though.
You gotta be careful with that octaballoon as well, because the trash can clip the other trash and it can like really mess up your timings.
But once we're out of that spot, we're basically safe.
Yeah. There we go. 6 bosses coming up, and so the split time for this, for my world record was 1:32, but we're gonna actually crush the hell out of this with this, with how we do this, and it's actually pretty cool. And I sort of got the hang of how to do this, so you might see this in actual runs, like with the wave like this. grab our 2 fast forwards, and you wait for him to shoot a trash. Well, this is the way that I did it. I just waited for him to shoot a trash. Then I positioned the bomb like that. And I wanted to cancel my fast forward, so then there was no downtime. And you want to use a record, so then you don't waste your super bomb. So this will give you extra gold.
And super bombs for
But we
reference
do-
are worth 250 gold.
Yeah. You buy them for 500, but you can get them returned for 250. So it's a nice little money save right there.
But every bulk purchase beyond 1 is 350. So it's like we're only losing 100 additional gold.
There you go. Almost
time
got
with
out
113.
in under 30 minutes. Yeah.
Now 7
Almost
is
at sub
my
30. There we go.
So we get 3 super bombs. And we're going to be using those to crush the main enemy areas. We use the wagon. I don't know what it's actually called, I just call it a wagon. We take out the ice turtle, then the typhoon. Now, it's actually possible to land on that button without triggering the tom-tom, but it doesn't save any time. It's just one of those things that's fun to do. We use a super bomb after double jumping like that, so we can hit all 5 enemies at once. And then with one more trash, we take that, finish the room off. You could slide and get there faster, but I really do not want to enjoy slipping. Slipping is the worst in this round. Because of that, use a super bomb aimed at the typhoon after the ice has already basically met the other area, so that allows the ice turtle to land on solid ground, and that allows it to explode and hit the octo balloon. And we hit the roulette. Now,
Unfortunate
this luck was pretty bad, but
yeah,
it makes up for it later on. So it's
the gold though, pretty good. Ooh, almost got that slow.
Yep. Don't worry, I pick up the pause crystal, so I can't possibly do that. And then from there we double jump and slide through the door.
You get the gold behind the gate too.
Yes, I do.
Which is there if anyone didn't know.
And then from there you finish.
Here we go.
And now, one of my favorite strats in the run, Grand Showstopper.
This is still nuts. It's nuts to this day. Such a good strat.
Shoutouts to Stimich for discovering this. I had a small lag spike there, but it wasn't too bad. But you jump through and hit that. And then that second bomb comes into play.
Kills that gatekeeper.
Yep. But that's not the end of that strat either, because we're going to extend that even further. But I'm going to pick up one more record here, because we really need the records in round 7 and 8, especially 7. But from there, we jump to avoid collapsing ice, and then activate another record. And that will take out the spike, and we heavily damage this area.
You slipped through that door like butter. That was so lucky.
Yep. It doesn't matter how you do it though, as long as you at least damage that spiker. That's the key part.
Yeah.
And then from there I just use that time to grab the gold since I had downtime. Now I wanted to get the early kill on the dust herder here, but I missed the shot like a derp. Luckily it didn't waste any time because I was waiting on the spiker anyways. From there, sweep up a whole bunch of trash so we deal with that water spread. Sweep the wheel, another giant card, and one shot with the octo, and then jump across. Now, it is possible without full diagonal movement to clear that jump, but it is much more difficult to do.
Extremely hard.
I remember my troubles getting through that until I had full diagonals. We take out the ice turtle, hit the octo, and then we just do a super bomb, and then we're done with the stage.
Yeah. That's pretty crazy.
With this 2:17 split time.
Yeah, that still blows my mind. I love 7-2, like how clean you can make that stage.
7-3 is very fun, but also very horrible from an IL perspective. But this actually debuts a new strategy.
Yeah, so usually in our full game runs, we use Super Bomb at the start of the stage to snipe the Octoballoon and the Spiker, but you mainly want to get the Spiker. And then he'll usually roll down to this area, and then you can deal with him. But I sort of thought I wanted to save as much gold as I possibly could during this run. And I think what we did here is we got like more gold than we usually do, and I don't think it wastes any time either, which is pretty good. Use 2 super bombs off here, so we damage the water spirit to like -4 HP, and then we're just gonna deal with this guy. Yeah, and then during the downtime of this, we just want to we just sweep up some trash. Almost got hit by the super bomb as well.
It was crucial that you did not.
And then there you go, the record ends. We deal with the 2 enemies. I wanted to grab a record as well.
Yep.
Because we need to use another one as well for the next stage. Not next stage, the next area. And if you watch 4 game runs, you know the deal. Get the gatekeeper to come out, use the 16-ton weight on it. We'll super bomb the rest of the enemies. And then after that, we just wait for the gatekeeper to die again, go through the door, and use the megaton weight on the spiker.
Now there technically is a way to optimize this one slightly, by 3 seconds that is. That said, I was not going to be picky with you on this. Not after this execution.
Oh yeah, with this this cutscene, like, if you're looking at the door before you kill that spiker, you can skip that cutscene, but I unfortunately did not pull it off, but it's fine.
It's still fine. Finished it in under 220.
There you go, and 7 boss time.
And this one's mine as well. So if you remember Fast Smolsaur, this is kind of a variant of that, except we're going to do it twice. We call this Fast Hydrosaur. Double Fast Hydrosaur, that is. So, there's a brief moment where Hydrosaur does not have invincibility frames if he chomps on ice. So you can hit him early. But the reason why we do it on that ice chunk instead is because then it doesn't have to travel any distance to break apart part of the scaffolding. But we do this a second time. And then we use a fast forward. And this is how we're going to land the 3rd hit. Now we do use the floating platform this time, but we get hit at the same time as landing it. And then from there, we get ready to activate a record for more duping fun. So we jump off the ice and record early.
I can't remember if we triple duped or not on this stage.
This is the one retry that gets used.
Yeah, that's right.
The reason why we use it here is because you don't have to fall as far. So it's actually faster to do it like this, rather than triple dupe at 6 boss. But the gold luck here was still insane. I mean, I initially aimed for 3,700, I got 3,800 with the spike.
Yeah, we had like a little discussion on like, you know, do we want to triple dupe for this stage? And I sort of was like, you know, we could use the extra money to have more super bombs in the other stages.
Now I had slightly messed up the shopping here. Poor old Lotus had one job. But it wasn't too bad.
Oh. So this stage took the most amount of time out of any other stage. And it was all because of time crystal control, like time control luck. I needed to get 1 rewind, I think 1 record and 2 fast forwards, I believe. And just like there's not like too many like parts in this stage where you can get that, like without like burning some time. So right here I had 2 super bombs. I used one in the beginning room, and now I use one here. And what we usually do is we use the big trash on the spiker. But what we want to also do is we want to use the super bomb to take it to 2 HP, and then we get this this big carve, and we're going to use it again. I kind of messed up on the trash there, but there we go. And now we're done with this area. Now I'm just hoping that all the crystals spawned, which did. So I'm gonna spend a little bit of time just getting all the rewind crystals, all the fast forward crystals, and then I'm kind of just, after this happened, I'm like, okay, I'm done with this stage, which is really nice.
Yep.
Messed up the shot here, but I was also considering using the super bomb for the 2 octa balloons, but then I thought, with how our trash management had to be, I opted to do it for the spiker and the typhoon.
Luckily, you did figure that out, and it proved to be the ultimate blessing.
Stage 2 also has a cool little thing, like cool little trick.
This is
Not
actually
sure
another
how-
strange discovery.
Not sure how well it will work in full game. It is a bit difficult to hit, but it is it's very rewarding if you can get it. The shot at the start. Now it doesn't look that hard, but you do have to have the right angle and timing when shooting it, because there's a lot of obstructions that can happen. Use the fast forward here, and what we want to grab our first pause of the run here too. Grab our first pause. Now these enemies are now 1 hit, and now we're just kind of done with this. Needed to grab another rewind because we want to use that for the boss state. And I grabbed some fast forward crystals because I wanted to get some along the way. Because right now I want to get 2 fast forward controls, but I don't have enough slots. So I'm going to use a pause here, and then we're going to have enough slots for that. So now I'm hoping that one of these enemies is going to drop 2 fast forward crystals.
You actually only really needed to hope for 1, because there's 1 just above.
Yeah, I guess so.
And I'll be honest with you, I was totally expecting you to use the rewind here and then the pause in the final area. But I think I'm glad you did it the other way around.
I think it saves more.
It's riskier,
I don't know if it does
faster.
or not. Yeah.
Because you're able to take out the pink combustion storage earlier.
Yeah. I mean, you could probably make this faster if you you can make the golem like activate faster if you shoot a piece of trash at it at its core.
Yep.
Because I discovered that with the super bomb exploding in 8-1, and it triggered the golem.
Now 8-3 is yours as well.
I wasn't too sure. We bought a spike bullet and then 3 super bombs, but I wasn't too sure if this spike bullet was like worth it. But I mean, I guess it saves a little bit of time.
It's the blessing in that regard because you could take out the typhoon in 1 shot.
Yeah.
And even if you didn't have that, you could still take out the Combustor effectively in 1 hit.
Yeah, I wanted to save money in this, so I didn't want to use a super bomb for this part. Which, I mean, I probably didn't need to. Unless, like, I don't know if we had enough money for the boss rush.
But luckily, I made sure that we kept track of this meticulously.
Yeah.
But we used the pause here because that allows for easy sweep of all 3 pieces. Then we are going to go to pick up a reward. We pick up all 3 crystals here so that we know that we have it, and that'll come into play at the boss rush.
Use our fast forward here to skip the seesaw. Pretty standard stuff. And to get 1 last bit of gold, when I shoot this chest.
Yep. We activate the
You want to be also be
first.
careful. Yeah, you want to be careful with the timing of the shot as well, because that big trash can clip one of the little like shield things he has, and it's happened to me quite a few times.
It's not a good feeling.
Yeah.
But from here, the rest of the run is my territory. So, 8 boss
Here we
was
go.
fairly straightforward. All you really needed to have was 0 extra rolls. And from there you were safe.
It's basically praying that he doesn't roll.
Yep. But the reason why we have 4 fast forwards at this point is because we can then use 3 immediately here, and then we'll be able to use 3 again in this fight in the boss rush. Now I just messed around
you see that
with
rewind?
collected crystals.
That rewind also ended pretty faster than usual as well.
Yep, and that's the key part with the first one. Now, something that's probably a little known is that the amount you're knocked back is determined by how close you are to the middle of the shadow in that fast forward state. The further you're back, the further you are away from that shadow, like the closer you are to the edge, the further you're knocked back. That's why I'm always as close to the middle as possible. Because it minimizes the knockback and allows me to land the shot as early as possible. From there.
A nice 130. Or like a 131.
From there, we're out of Forge.
Yeah. At this point, it was all Lotus now. Lotus was in charge of doing gate boss and then boss rush and then the final boss.
Yep.
I was just like, here you go. This is all yours.
Now, I actually wanted to get all 3 of the first parts of this boss rush done immediately, because I knew 8 boss was going to be a pain. For the exact same reason as before, this one. And you saw that from my base trim. How I got the first 3 basically right away, but then it took until almost 18 minutes in to get the final part of it.
Yeah, RNG's a bitch.
Yep. Now there is something that I am wondering, and it's the amount of gold that I somehow had afterwards. Because I kept things consistent throughout the route, and I only picked up gold in 6 boss and 7 boss. But somehow I ended up with like 4,800. Somehow I have the feeling that there's something else at play here.
The spike bullets, perhaps?
That's what I'm thinking too.
4,800. Yeah. Yeah, I'm just thinking like
But this takes the
that's
same
something I thought about. Yeah.
This takes the same approach as what we did in the actual 7 boss, only without the use of the fast forward, because we want those in 8 boss. If we had room for a 5th fast forward, which would mean we'd have to have 6 fast forwards by the time we got to the Seesaw K3, then we could use 1 here and gain further time. But it's not worth trying to do that. In hindsight, we could use that for a segmented run, but we didn't. Felt no need to. As you can see, I got 1184 there.
Very good pace, very good pace.
Now, I mentioned that record that we picked up in 8-3. That is where this comes into play. So we're going to activate the record, land the first hit, which deals 2 damage. We're going to shoot a spikes, 2, so that we have extra ammo, and then we're going to land a second hit. So now it only has 1 health left. And during the playback, we'll pick up 2 fast forwards and 2 rewinds.
There we go. No bombs this time, that is true. We don't need them.
And we're out of 6 points. So I got 1175 there. At this point, I already had more than enough gold to get all the spikes I needed. But I'm still wondering how I managed to reach 4,800 despite that.
Yeah. That's some testing that we should do.
Yeah. I'm thinking that it is only taking into account the spikes after the first boss. But because I have 8 there, that's 1,600. But we take the same approach as 8 bosses before. Now you might wonder why I pick up the slow here. We have to pick up a slow anyways, so either you bleed 3 seconds here, or you bleed 3 seconds in Chrono Horn. And it wouldn't really matter which one you do, because the slow on Chrono Horn is mandatory. Only when you don't really do it. So, I just bit the bullet and dealt with it there.
Makes for a nice little Chrono Horn split, since you don't have to wait for the slow.
It's not like it'll matter too much, because we'll lose that slow anyways. And with that, we're done with the boss rush.
Nice. Just over 50 minutes.
Yep. And we pick up 8 spikes. You really only need 5, but I bought more to assure that I'd had a buffer for phase 2.
There we go.
We get the early first hit like that. And now it's RNG fest.
Yeah.
You actually get quite close to Chrono Horn without it teleporting against you. It's just a matter
I didn't even know what teleport.
As you can see, I landed the clone with a spike first while I was falling from that down jump, because that minimized the amount of time I'd have to deal with for the second shot. Now, the reason why I'm doing figure 8s is because it lets me more reliably see the stage and the crystals that are being dropped that I actually learned while doing Chrono Horn. But we keep doing this so that it doesn't try to use a time control against us.
Crystal lock as well.
I saw it winding up a fast forward and was like, okay, yep, bring it.
Yeah, getting a fast forward there is also, like, from the Chrono Horns, very good, because it increases the rate at which the crystals drop. Because, you know, everything's going faster.
So from there, that's 2. Here's 3. And I already have the crystals for the slow as well. And I actually decided to pick up 2 slows anyways, even though I didn't need to.
Yeah.
From there, we're done.
Also, with the split, it says 52-21, but it's a 52-22. I just timed it by accident.
Yeah, so final time, 52 minutes, 22 seconds. An improvement over your segmented run by almost 4 minutes.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Now in hindsight, if we had actually used the Chrono Horn split that I got in the obsoleted all metals run that I did just a few days ago, we actually could have gotten this down to around a 52-15, because I actually got a 151 in that split.
Pretty bonkers.
But I'm not gonna be picky when we aim for 2 minutes.
Yeah. What was our like our goal, like, to try and get? For
our
the,
total target time that we were aiming for was 54 minutes.
And we beat that by like almost 2 minutes, which was pretty cool.
Yep.
But as we were getting through, we were going through like the stages, and then we were just plowing through and like, hey, we could actually like get like to a 52 because of how well we were doing it.
And I had realized that we were going to get 52 after we were done with round 7.
Yeah, that is for now. This is the fastest way, I guess, you could beat Blinx. You could definitely improve on it. There's no doubt about that. But I mean, it was a pretty fun project to work on with Lotus. He was basically the one that like did most of the work. So big props out to him for organizing us. It's pretty cool.
It goes to Miku because he did the editing.
Yeah, I did. I edited it like my segmented run before. I did I did all like the splits and like the splicing to make it look more believable, I guess. Pretty you know, what do you think, Lotus? What's your final thoughts of this run?
It definitely debuts some new strats. But now the question becomes, can we make them consistent? I think we can make that 8-2 shot consistent. I mean, we both have different ways of how we do the 6-2 sweet spot shot.
Yeah.
I mean, I do it from the starting gate, and you did the 8-1 from the starting gate. I think you could find a way to do it consistently from the starting gate.
Yeah. And that's it. That's basically the well, I mean, that's basically the end of the segmented run. So what's our next project, Lotus?
Someone should make a hack that enables perfect luck.
That would be pretty cool. Imagine like a minus, not minus, like a sub 50.
With perfect luck in, sub 50 is very possible. Because, remember, this means that we're getting past every single boss without having to do any kind of money due. This would keep in mind that you'd have to get, like, many sets of 45 gold only. And that's ridiculous.
Yeah, the gold luck in full game runs is so, like, it varies a lot of how it can go.
I mean, in theory, the amount of gold you can get from the first boss varies so wildly. It could be anywhere from something like 125 to around 1125.
Pretty wild.
1125 is only medium star golds, which is 45 each, and it's 5 gold per set.
Well, I mean, pretty cool how we're like the first people to like do sort of like something like this.
Yeah.
Like with this, like the segmented run, because I know I did like a segmented run, but that wasn't planned at all. That was kind of just me going, yeah, this is good enough, and then I kind of just put all the clips together.
Whereas this one was much more planned.
Yeah. Actually organized PogChamp.
Yeah. Like, I could show a comparison between just the template and show how meticulously planned this run was compared to what a template would be.